Respected Chairperson, learned audience, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. Welcome to all. Today's presentation. Complication of neck dissection are common because intricate anatomy of the neck. There are so many vascular structures, so many nervous structures situated in a small confined area. Rates of each complication difficult to identify because heterogeneity of surgery and surgeon's skill can affect any surgeons regardless of skill. Surgical awareness, surgical awareness and early recognition from management to prevent complication of neck dissection. There are lots of implication, morbidity, increased surgical stay, increased cost, delay of adjuvant therapy, medical litigation, stress and decreased life expectancy of the surgeons. This is common general risk factors. Patient factors and disease factors. Patient factors is anatomical variation, prior radiation therapy and previous surgery. Disease factors, extensive resection, digestive tract injury, prolonged anesthesia and plastic reconstruction. It is undoubted that prevention is better than cure and we should utmost care about prevention. There was an article, the New England Journal of Medicine, a surgical safety checklist to reduce morbidity and mortality in a global population. It was 8-center study, a two-step implementation of the 19-item WHO safe surgery list, checklist done 3 time points, before induction, before incision and before patient leaves operating room. They found that significant reduction in post-operative complication and morbidity. That means surgical site infection, unplanned return to the operating room, pneumonia, death, any complication, all are reduced due to simple use of surgical safety checklist. So I ask to everybody, please try to implement this surgical safety checklist in our day-by-day surgical practice. This is surgery safety checklist. And classification of complication. This is intraoperative and postoperative. Intraoperative nerve injury, marginal mandibular nerve, spinal accessory, hypoglossal, vagus, phrenic, sympathetic tongue. And vascular injury, internal jugular vein, carotid artery injury, injury to the thoracic duct. Post-operative complication, hemorrhage, wound infection, flap necrosis, seroma, salivary fistula, carotid blowout, subcutaneous emphysema, pneumothorax, and lymphedema. Let's come to nerve injury. Marginal mandibular nerve. It is most common nerve injury during neck dissection. Incidence about 18 to 23% underreported. Predisposing factors of marginal mandibular nerve injury, raising a thick flap, that means flap on fat on flap, no identification before ligating the facial artery, excessive retraction on the ligated stem, inadequate tracing of the nerve, bulky level 1B and perifacial lymph nodes. Potential sites of injury in marginal mandibular nerve along the lower border of the mandible, crossing of facial artery. Clinical features, asymmetric motion, angle of the mouth, accumulation of food while chewing and drooling. Postoperative findings, marginal mandibular nerve injury, neuropraxia. In case of neuropraxia, just observe with physiotherapy. We should preventing measure raising a pink upper flap, only platysma, no fat on flap. Avoid keeping the ties on the facial artery long and traction. Avoid monopolar diathermy during dissection adjacent to marginal mandibular nerve. Dissect the entire course of the nerve. That means we should dissect from anterior to the up to tail of the parotid gland. In many of the case, we identify the marginal mandibular nerve, but we are not follow whole the course. That means we will identify in anteriorly, but in posteriorly this is injured. Most of the time this is injured. So we should try whole of the course of the marginal mandibular nerve. There is a question regarding role of intraoperative nerve monitoring in case of marginal mandibular nerve. There was a study intraoperative monitoring of marginal mandibular nerve during neck dissection. There is two group, IONM group, that means intraoperative nerve monitoring group, versus non-IONM group. That means in which case you didn't use nerve monitor. These results show that in IONM group, marginal mandibular nerve palsy only 4.08%, but non-IONM group marginal mandibular nerve palsy 20.93%. That means if you use intraoperative nerve monitoring, marginal mandibular nerve palsy rate is significantly decreased. But there is a disadvantage, that is added expenditure of 365 euros per patient. But this is not level 4 evidence, and no randomized control trial regarding this intraoperative nerve monitoring used in marginal mandibular nerve palsy. This is a picture regarding identification, dissection and preservation of the marginal mandibular nerve. Then let's come to intraoperative complication of spinal accessories nerve. Incidence 25% to 46.7%, but it is more research than marginal mandibular nerve. Shoulder dysfunction is more research than marginal mandibular nerve. So in whole over the world, spinal accessory nerve is more research things, and incidence is 25 to 46.7%. Predisposing factors to intraoperative complication: level 2B and level 5 dissection, large nodes in level 2, raising a thick skin flap for level 5 clearance, devascularization, variation in course. What is variation in spinal accessories nerve? Usually, majority of the case it is lies over the internal jugular vein, but few cases it lies below the internal jugular vein. But in 1% of case it lies through the internal jugular vein. Potential site of injury: dissection of level 2 and 2B, nerve retraction for level 2B clearance, excessive posterior dissection during a selective neck dissection, raising a skin flap for level 5 clearance. This picture not shown nowadays. Once upon a time, when everybody practiced radical neck dissection and modified radical neck dissection, but nowadays there is a conservative approach, so this picture not shown nowadays. Clinical features of spinal accessory nerve: shoulder pain and shoulder pain, reduced range of motion, and shoulder syndrome. Tips to identify and preserve the spinal accessory nerve: level 2 dissection, identify the nerve as it enters the sternocleidomastoid muscle, dissect as much as dissection without traction, use bipolar forceps, avoid level 2B dissection when not indicated. In case of level 5 dissection, raising a thin skin flap, identify the nerve at arch point, trace the nerve with bipolar
Always
forceps,
expose the
avoid lifting the nerve from the bed, avoid level 5 dissection when not indicated. This is treatment of intraoperative nerve injury, that is primary neuroraphy. This is primary neuroraphy, and this is cable nerve grafting. Let's come to phrenic nerve injury. Incidence variable 1 to 8%. Predisposing factors of phrenic nerve injury: mid and lower jugular nodal dissection, large level 4 nodes. Potential sites of injury: level 4 dissection, when you breach of prevertebral fascia, cervical 2 and 3 nerve root injury while repairing and intraoperative chyle leakage, blind keep application during level 4, bleeding. This is phrenic nerve and this is transverse cervical artery. When we are doing level 4 dissection and when there is chyle leakage, we will try to blind applicator. In that time, we will injure the phrenic nerve. Usually phrenic nerve injury post-operative, usually patient didn't any complaint, but clinical features, dyspnea on exertion, inability to ambulate subtle signs, pulmonary complication, and chest exo, hemodiaphragm,
Drop syringe in
palsy,
there is, you don't
ultrasonogram
have to do
of
that.
chest, dynamic reduced
Small
movement,
incision, you can do that. Like this.
and costophenic angle is obliterated. How we will prevent phrenic nerve injury? I have discussed potential sites of injury. Steps to be taken regarding prevention: have good exposure, avoid cutting the
Infiltration.
nerve roots, take a
Injection.
superficial stitch while trying to repair a chyle leak, and stay medial. Identify the vessel and then keep.
Allowed infiltration.
Then come to vascular injury, internal jugular vein injury, predisposing factors, mid and lower jugular nodal dissection, large level 2, 3 and 4 nodes, redo neck dissection, post radiation surgery, inadequate exposure, lateral branch in level 3 and 4 dissection, lateral branch mean internal, lateral branch of internal jugular vein. It is rare and uncommon. In case of internal jugular vein injury, treatment, please keep calm and quiet. Apply pressure with finger on the rein. And there is a different criteria. There is point rein, that means exposure the area adequately, suction the bleeding, hold the rein with vascular forceps, venography with Prolene 50 or 60. When large rein, pressure on both end of internal jugular vein. Assess venography, patch, graft or ligation. When drained superiorly, or that means when injury in superiorly, no stump to catch. Pressure, assess. Figure of 8 stitch with continuous suction, pack upper end sigmoid sinus with gel foam and surgicel. Um, Rent inferiorly, that means when injury in inferior end of the internal jugular vein, it is more dangerous than superior end, more prone for air embolism. Apply clamp, flood filled with saline, reverse Trendelenburg position, prevent air embolism, identify venography or transfix. Carotid artery injury, we are lucky that this is uncommon. And we were trying
Yeah,
to
we're just ready. We're waiting. We're waiting.
operation in case of thyroid surgery when carotid artery adhesion, when disease is adherent with carotid artery. In case of squamous cell carcinoma, when disease is adherent with carotid artery, we are not trying to remove it. But luckily it is less and less than 1%. Predisposing factors of carotid artery injury, carotid bulb protrusion in level 2. Distinguish, is it lymph node or carotid bulb? In case of older person, that's like more than 60 or more than 70 years old, who are who have atherosclerosis or a smoker, it is confused about carotid bulb and level 2 lymph node. Multiple large level 2 and 2 lymph nodes, encasement of carotid artery, excessive cautery, and weak serosa I have already mentioned, devastating neurological complication, blood loss, to be handled by a vascular surgeon. But uh, before attending the vascular surgeon, measures to be taken after injury, avoid use of clamps unless large rent, finger pressure is adequate, good oxygenation, head low position, arrange for blood or blood product, vascular surgeon. Then come to post-operative complication. This is hemorrhage or hematoma in post-operative period. Clinical findings associated with postoperative wound hematoma. This general findings in neck and in respiratory problem. General findings: patient may be restlessness, agitation, panic, somnolence, unresponsiveness. In neck, elevated drain output, social line bleeding, anterior neck swelling, facial edema, and tracheal deviation. Change in voice quality, difficulty breathing, inspiratory stridor, cyanosis, and respiratory arrest.
Yeah.
What we will
Scan.
do?
Yeah,
Immediate
the
surgery
scan.
versus observation. When can you conserve a hematoma?
You
When
present a
hematoma
case
is
capsule.
a small clot,
You
neck
present a case
flaps
capsule.
stuck,
I mean, you tell the
venous
history.
blood, no rapid
I will
increase in
discuss the
size,
scan.
no fall in hemoglobin, associate
Mike.
coagulopathy. In those cases,
Okay, otherwise you keep telling, I will
you
keep telling them.
can observe. Then post-operative complication, own infection, incidence around 5 to 15%. Predisposing
Secure screen.
factors, blood loss, clean contaminated surgery, tracheostomy, advanced
When
T-stage
you was secure
flap
screen.
reconstruction, and long operative time. Most
3 weeks
common
ago.
communication with aerodigestive tract.
Okay.
Also potential factors,
Biopsy is commission first name.
preoperative antibiotic prophylaxis not given, intraoperative asepsis not maintained, poor postoperative sterility.
Any.
Own
Agency.
infection, clinical feature, erythema, fever, septicemia, pus, range side complication. Investigation, CBC, own swab, blood culture, CRP, procalcitonin. Treatment of own infection based
48.
on Clevin Dindo grading system. This is grade 1 to grade 4. Grade 1 means maintain strict asepsis, just observe. And grade 2, 3A, 3B, 4A.
That's the
I am not
carotid.
going to details about
That
it.
is the
In case
carotid, not
of
the neck.
grade
And you shouldn't palpate
4B,
both
lead
sides. Patient
sepsis,
will go have
life-threatening,
bradycardia.
ICU, multiple
Don't
organ
do.
dysfunction, treat the site of infection and may need higher antibiotics, supportive care, explain about poor prognosis. This is common. That is cardiac injury, chyle leakage, incidence about 3 to 5%, commonly seen in the left neck, but never forget regarding right neck. Multiple lymphatic ducts, often seen in dissection for thyroid cancer surgery.
Okay. I'll,
Predisposing factors, large node in the level 3 and 4, dissection during medial to internal jugular vein, that means central
Mike.
compartment clearance. This is intraoperative
Just come.
duct injury, and
Just
this is
go to
postoperative
the
chyle leak.
toilet, sister. I'll just come back.
Intraoperative
Yeah,
injury,
just keep it going.
preventive measure, patient dissection of level 4, serial ligation or clipping of all tissue, left and right side. Identification of a small leak with a combination of tendon and bark plus Valsalva maneuver. Every case after during neck dissection or major surgery, before inserting a drain tube, uh, Valsalva maneuver is mandatory in all of cases. And clip or ligate the curtain, fragile to hold with forceps. Avoid pulling. In difficult chyle leaks, open the carotid sheath. Repair confirmed by no leak, no provocation maneuver. Sclerosant or tissue glue, adhesives, muscle transfer, doubtful use. This is post-operative identification, high output drain, milky drain, supraclavicular fullness, chest X-ray show chylothorax. Conservative measure, uh, if drain less than 500 ml, weight and nutrition assessment, medium chain triglyceride diet, adequate hydration, adequate drainage, compression dressing, octreotide therapy is doubtful. But there was a journal regarding role of octreotide therapy, a prospective study on the role of octreotide in management of chyle fistula in neck, 19 patient over a 10-year period, octreotide given as 100 microgram 8 hourly. Low output fistula, that means less than 500 ml, stopped within 5 days, and high output fistula stopped within 7 days. When high output fistula more than 600 ml, surgical re-exploration, identification and ligation, clipping and transfixion may need muscle transfer. Recurrent chyle leak, video assisted thoracic duct ligation, percutaneous cannulation of cisterna chyli and lymphoembolism. This is done by radiation intervention radiation radiologist. That last come to salivary fistula, around 9%. Predisposing factors expose scarred salivary tissue in the neck, tail parotid injury during level 1B clearance, extension duct not identified and ligated. Clinical features: clear watery discharge in the drain or wound, appears similar to seroma, not reducing with course of time, associated with wound infection. Prevention and treatment of salivary fistula: avoid cutting the tail parotid during neck dissection, burying under running the exposed parotid gland during neck dissection, conservative management, preserving pressure dressing, oral or IV glycopyrrolate. Glycopyrrolate is the magic drug in this case, and in case of oral cancer surgery, because it decreases salivary secretion and oral secretion, and adjuvant radiotherapy. Conclusion: neck surgery has high chances of injuries and complication. Because poor auditing, incidence is variable, non-life threatening but with serious morbidity. Good training and meticulous dissection, recognition and intraoperative correction is vital. Thank you all for patient hearing.